And we are off and running. Okay, so fractions 2. Adding and subtracting fractions, add and subtract fractions. When you have the same bottoms. And don't forget, another word for bottoms is denominator. So the steps are: step 1, add or subtract, depending on what you're doing, the tops. Add those two up. 9 plus 5 is 14. Step 2, don't touch my bottom. Don't touch my bottom. Leave it alone. Leave it 16. The bottom is 16 for each one. If you have the same bottoms, don't touch it. Leave it there. And anybody tell me the last step? The last step for all fractions is always, for fractions it's always the same: reduce or simplify. And both of these divide by 2. So I get 7/8 as my answer. All right, so we're going to try this one. Step 1, if the bottoms are the same, add the tops. Add or subtract the tops. 5 plus 1 is 6. Don't touch my bottom. Yes, that was meant to be funny. And then reduce. They both divide by 3, and I get 2/3. All right, so let's try both of these on the calculator. Somebody's going to have to maybe tell me what these 9/16 plus 5/16. Okay. So our calculator, once again, the TI-30X. I use the S part, which is the solar. But you don't need the S. You can get the one with the batteries. Oh Lord, what was the problem again? Do you see how bad I am? Anybody want to tell me what the problem was? Was it 9/15? Wait.
9/15 plus 5/16.
Plus fraction 5. What did you say?
It's 9/16.
Okay.
And then plus 5/16.
Okay, let's see if I can get it back there. There, 9/16 plus 5/16. And when I hit enter, I should get the same answer we got, 7/8. Okay, so you see the calculator is really good. It adds the fractions up. It reduces it for us. It's pretty nice. Once again, adding the fractions right there. If you weren't here for last class period, make sure you watch that fractions 1 video, because we go over some of this, the things that we type into the calculator. So I'm just going to do that one and then move on. All right, let's keep going. So those are add. I'm not going to do number 3. Now, adding fractions, adding and subtracting fractions when the bottom is different. Look at number 4. So we're going to add. This is the rule is for add or subtract fractions when the bottom is different. Now, there's some really crazy, there's some really steps, you know, find the common denominator that we all learned in high school and everything. Or actually, I think we learned it in middle school or before middle school. But I mean, I like this cross multiply thing way that I have. Step 1, multiply the top of one fraction with the bottom of the other. And I always go to the top of the first one and multiply the top of the first fraction. This is the top of the first fraction with the bottom of the other. So I'm going to multiply those two together. Watch what I do. I'm going to write two new fractions, and I'm going to multiply these two together, and I'm going to put it right here. 1 times 8, even though it says plus, it says multiply. 1 times 8 is 8, is the top of the new fraction. Multiply top of the first fraction with the bottom of the other, and it creates top of first new fraction. I know these are a lot of words. I'm only going to write them down once. Step 2, once again, multiply top of second fraction with bottom of this other to create top of second fraction, the new top. So multiply these two together, 4 times 5, and I get 20. And then step 3, multiply bottoms to get new bottom. The bottoms, let me change my color here. The bottoms are these two. 8 times 4 is 32. And then use steps for adding same bottoms. You see, we have the same bottoms now. The steps for adding same bottoms was add the tops. 8 plus 20 is 28. Don't touch my bottom, 32. And then divide it, if you can, by reducing it. They both divide by 4. And I get 7 over 8. So let's put that in the calculator and see if we get that. 1/4 plus 5 over 8. I hope we get that. 1/4 plus 5 over 8. We should get 7 over 8. So on my calculator, I'm going to leave it here just in case anybody's writing this down, because I know as soon as I leave, it's going to disappear. So just in case anybody's writing it down, I'm going to give you a second. And my handwriting's a little messy. And don't forget, I'll have the video of this posted by tomorrow morning sometime. What I try to do is convert them to YouTube and then put them on here, because for some reason they yell at me when I save too many in this Zoom format because I take up too much space. All right, so let me go to the calculator. 1/4 plus 5/8. Fraction 1/4 plus fraction 5/8. And when I hit enter, I get 7/8, the same thing we just got. How many people think the calculator is so Wonderful. I love the calculator. Look at all this work it does for you. Does anybody still need to get a calculator? Don't forget, this is the you can pick up this calculator at Walmart. A couple of people yesterday said they got it on Amazon. It'll take 2 days to get there. Get to your place if you have Prime. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let's see. I'm going to go back. What am I going? Oh, I have to share. Okay, go back here. All right. So let me do another one. I'm going to do number 6. I'll do it manually. And then if you guys want, you can check it out on your calculator and see if if I get the correct answer. So my steps were I'm going to create 2 new fractions. Multiply the top of the first with the bottom of the second. This creates a new top for the first. 3 times 5 is 15. Then I'm going to multiply the top of the second with the bottom of the first. 3 times 4 is 12. And yes, it does have to be in this order. For adding, it doesn't matter, but subtraction, if you don't do it in this order, the top of the first with the bottom of the second is the new top of the first. If you don't do it in this order for subtraction, you'll get the problem wrong. You'll get the wrong sign in the answer. And then multiply the bottoms together. 4 times 5 is 20. So then we add the tops. 15 and 12 is 27. We don't touch the bottom. And we are done. This does not reduce. And you can plug 27 over 20 in your calculator. Don't change it to a mixed number. By the way, you can change it to a mixed number. Did anybody try this on their calculator? Did anybody get the same answer I got? I hope you did.
Yes, it's correct.
Perfect, perfect. Now, don't forget your calculator. I'm going to do this on the calculator, but I don't want you to change it to a mixed number. But to change it to a mixed number, remember the steps we showed you was the top divided by the bottom. 20 goes into 27 one time. So the answer is 1 and 7 over 20. So I'm going to do that on the calculator. 20. Let's say 27 over 20 is my answer. So I'm going to do that on my calculator. The fraction was 27 over 20. That was the answer. And by some weird coincidence or something, they say, give me the mixed number. Remember to change it to a mixed number. You have to go right above this 10x. It says fraction and then the both arrow to mixed number. Fraction of mixed number. So to get to the green part here, you have to hit second and then the 10x, and it goes fraction to mixed number. Now when I hit enter, do you see it changes it to a mixed number? And if you do it again, if you have a mixed number, you can hit it again and it will change it back to an improper fraction. So this calculator does a lot, Jose, just showing you that. I like it. I mean, you can use your other calculator, but I really like this calculator. You can type it all in nice and pretty. You can create fractions. The 89, you can do a lot of this stuff, but it's not as clean and nice as this one, I think. All right, so we did that one. Okay, this is harder. Me, I just want to do it on my calculator. This is how I do this problem. Maybe I should just say use your calculator. But so if I did mixed numbers adding together, well, actually, I think the easiest way to do this, we already showed you yesterday that if you add fractions or even multiply, I mean, add mixed numbers or multiply mixed numbers, one way of doing it is change it all to improper fraction. So this 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10, right? This changes to 10 over 3, the mixed number. And you can put that in your calculator and do it, and it'll tell you. This is 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9 over 8. So you can change them to mixed numbers, I mean to improper fractions like I just did, and then go through the step. Multiply these two together. 10 times 8 is 80. Multiply these two together, and I get 3 times 9 is 27. And then multiply the bottoms together, and I get 24. When I add those together, I get 107 on top, and the bottom stays the same. That's what I get. If they wanted a mixed number, then you can put the mixed number in. Let's put it in your calculator. Somebody tell me what the mixed number answer is. It's 5 and
7 over.
no, that's not it.
Oh.
Anybody? 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 107 over 24. Change it to a mixed number. I just want to make sure you guys are using your calculator.
24.
I'm going to do it the long way.
Damn it.
20, wait. No, that's not right. It's 4.
4.
16 and 96. And when you subtract it,
It's
11.
4 and 11 and 24.
Yes. So that's this is the improper fraction. This is the mixed number. Okay. So, and there's no difference for subtraction, by the way. When we subtract, there's no difference in these steps. I remember I gave you the steps, and the steps said add or subtract. So when we add or subtract fractions with the same bottom, you add or subtract the tops. 8 minus 4 is 4. You don't touch my bottom. The bottom stays at 5. Try to reduce it. It does not reduce. We are done. 8 over 5 minus 4 over 5 is 4 over 5. So these steps are for adding and subtracting, not multiplying and dividing, just adding and subtracting fractions. And we have more. I'm going to try one of these. Let's try number 11. The steps for adding, subtracting fractions, once again, where when the bottom is different. So you got to look at those bottoms. When the bottom is different, you have to use that cross multiply. You got to create 2 new fractions, and there's a subtraction between it. Multiply these two together. 6 times 5 is 30. Then multiply these two together. 7 times 2 is 14. Then multiply the bottoms together. 7 times 5 is 35. Since the bottoms are the same, we add or subtract the tops. 30 minus 14 is 16. The bottom, since the bottoms are the same, it stays the same. Don't touch it. Try to reduce it. It does not reduce. 16 divides by 2, divides by 4, divides by 8. And none of those divide into 35. Once again, you could hit, I'm going to 16 over 35. If you want to see if a fraction reduces, I showed you this yesterday. the fraction 16 over 35, you can just type it into your calculator, hit enter, and you see it stays at 16 over 35, so it doesn't reduce. It's already in the lowest form. It's already reduced in the lowest form. Any questions so far? Everybody okay? Nothing new here. You guys can go through these and try this with a calculator. Let's try this one, number 14. So we wrote down the steps for adding and subtracting fractions, but we have a whole number. What did we do yesterday when we had a whole number? 11. Anybody remember what we did with a whole number?
Over 1.
Yeah, we changed it to a fraction. So 11 is 11 over 1. 11 divided by 1. By the way, a fraction is the divide symbol. 11 divided by 1 is 11. So now I just go back. I have two fractions with different bottoms. I go to my steps and procedures for different bottoms. I'm going to create two new fractions with a subtraction between it. Multiply these two. 11 times 8 is 88. Multiply these two. 3 times 1 is 3. And then multiply the bottom. 1 times 8 is 8. And I get 88 minus 3 is 85. The bottoms don't change. Try to reduce it. I put it in my calculator. It does not reduce. We are done. If I want to change it to a mixed number, I can put it in my calculator and do that second 10x, and it'll change it to a mixed number. Okay. So let's try number 15 on the calculator. I'm going to actually do number 15 on the calculator. 13 1/7 minus 3 over 7. So I'm not going through the steps and procedures for this one. We kind of did it already, you know, change them to improper fractions and then go through the process. But I might as well do this on the calculator. So because it's a mixed number, I want to create a mixed number first, 13 1/7. There's the fraction. Right above the fraction is the mixed number. So to get to it, you have to hit second ND fraction. Now we have a mixed number. The mixed number is 13, arrow over, and 1/7. I arrow over. It's a subtract, and we're subtracting a fraction, ND, and we're subtracting 3 over 7. And I can get out of, I'd like to get out of there first before I hit enter. And now when I hit enter, the answer is 89 over 7. Do you see they give the answer, instead of a mixed number, they give it an improper fraction. We never put our answer in mixed number form unless they ask for it. What's your answer in mixed number? If they don't give us that, you always leave the answer in an improper fraction. So the answer is 89 over 7. If I wanted a mixed number, once again, this right above the 10x, it changes fractions to mixed numbers. So I just hit second 10x, hit enter, and it changes it. Both of these are the same number. One's just improper, the other one is a mixed number. All righty. Let's go back. And we are done with R2 part 1. I keep on getting these little advertisements and stuff popping up, news feeds on my computer. I can't figure out how to stop it. I am going to hit stop record for a second.